All right. Yeah, I'm a little rough around the edges. I didn't shave this week. So I'm going to take my candle that I've lit already, and I'm going to float it in the bath. And I'm going to let it burn until the candle burns out. Once that candle burns out, I know that bath is ready for use, and I just go into my shower. And with a bitter bath, we don't want it to touch the top of our heads. You just splash it on your face, the back of your neck, and then pour the rest of it over your body, wiping yourself in a downward direction. And then you air dry. It's very easy. It's very easy. It's very doable. Anybody can do this. Now, if you have a bathtub, that's even more convenient. That's even more convenient because you can literally just put the herbs directly into the bathtub. Get in there, allow yourself to soak. Don't submerge your head. Just keep your chin and the back of your head above water and let yourself soak. It works great. But you can do this with any type of plant, any type of cleaning plant. I would recommend, if you're not good at identifying plants, I would say work with things that you know, like sweet basil or mint. You can get them in the store fresh. You can work with them that way. Yellow marigold is another. Because the energy of the plants can be so strong that it can disrupt that delicate connection that we have between the spirit and soul that is taking place that we call our minds. If you have strong herbs in the bath, you can literally weaken the connection to your head. And this can kind of make you feeling lightheaded, dizzy. And it's not the end of the world if you do get like bitter herbs on top of your head, but you probably want to stay inside for a couple of days. At the very least, keep your head covered. Things like sweet basil or mint, you can pour them over the top of your head while you're doing a bath. There are other herbs as well, but they're not so readily identifiable for most people. A common one is called English plantain. It's that little shrubby plant that has offshoots coming off the top of it. That's okay. And Nikki, you'll feel tired, you'll feel run down. It also means you're a little bit vulnerable. Your best thing to do is just stay inside if you should accidentally or thoughtlessly dunk your head in the water. It's not the end of the world. It won't kill you, but it's not best practice. Best practice is protecting the head. Now, you can make baths that don't involve any plants whatsoever, or at the very least, some white flowers. You can make baths with things like goat's milk, cascarilla, a little bit of honey, and you can put some white flowers in there like jasmines or gardenias. And why would you want to do a bath like that? Like if you've been feeling very run down for a long time and you just can't seem to get your energy back, or things in your life have been very chaotic, it's probably a good idea. You might want to, bathe in something white. It also feels super luxurious when you do a white bath. You can add a little Florida water in there for some good smells. Now, when I do sweet baths, I will sometimes add some Florida water to the bath. I won't let it touch my head, but I'll sometimes add a little bit of Florida water in there for the fragrance. It invites back the really sweet spirits. When I'm doing a bitter bath, I would sometimes lean to using some vinegar in the bath if I really feel like I got something on me that it needs to come off immediately. You could definitely use some shampoo after that. Definitely. I would recommend you let yourself air dry first. If you do pour those bath waters over your head, let yourself air dry completely before shampooing it out. You might be able to brush most of the little flakes out. The flakes are going to be so small. I get it in my hair, and sometimes I'll get a couple of flakes like the next day of the herbs, but you can definitely shampoo it out of your head. Just let yourself air dry first. Let the energy of the bath really sink in before you go washing your hair. I would always recommend that you start a first bath as a bitter bath. If you've never done one before, go out there, find some dandelions or get some wormwood. I can guarantee that almost everybody here in the West can find wormwood very easily. And you're only going to do that bitter bath for one time, okay? Just like I did, you're going to break it up. You're going to run it through a mortar and pestle. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, don't worry. You don't need to go buy one to do this. Just put the leaves in the water and by hand rip those leaves up to your satisfaction, that you can't rip those leaves up anymore. Get them into the smallest possible pieces. And you talk while you're doing it. You say, hey, I got to get clean. I've been dirty for a long time. I need your good medicine to help me overcome these difficulties and be able to enjoy life again, okay? And once you've done that, then, you know, you can set a tea light in the waters and just let it simmer for a while. Simmer. The best types of plants for cleaning yourself are going to be ones that grow fast and are more or less weeds. Mint is great. If anyone has ever put mint in their garden and learned the hard way that mint will take over everything, you know, that's how it goes. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's absolutely a great idea. To grind your money powder and add it to your body lotions and apply it daily. Oh yeah, that's a fantastic idea. I've seen a lot of people do that. They make creams and hand lotions and things like that, and they just add their juju to it. Some people, you can, if you have dried herbs, you can use them to make bar soaps. That's a really common thing. I'm not a big fan of dried herbs. Most of them lose a lot of their potency. So you need about like 5 times as much dried leaf to equal what you would normally use in a bath. Yeah, mint is a menace. It is a menace in your garden. It will take over everything. Chickenweed, aka Jamaican vervain, aka Porter's weed, it is a weed. It will take over everything and just kind of push everybody out. But it's a great plant to have around. It attracts bees and pollinators. I get butterflies all the time. And we get a lot of monarchs where I live. This area is known for the monarch population. So it's really cool. Right time of year, we look out the window and we see monarchs hanging out around our vervain. I think I'm pretty much covered everything about what you need to know about making a bath. It's not terribly difficult. It doesn't need to be a mystical experience. You can follow that same process for distilling, tincturing. You can tincture herbs, especially seasonal ones that you come to like, hey, this is a great plant, but it's only here for a few months out of the year. You can easily tincture that plant. You go through the same process, collect it in a respectful fashion, run it through the mortar, grind it up real well, get some high-proof alcohol, and then just tincture it in some high-proof alcohol. In about 3 weeks, it's good to go. And it'll last you quite a long time. And because the alcohol extracts the essence of the plant, you really will only need, depending on how much leaf you use, you'd only need a few ounces of that liquid to make a strong bath. That's basically how I make my baths most of the time. The ones that I sell, I go and I tincture my favorite herbs. Some of my baths are a bit more complex, where I'll use multiple herbs to get certain effects out of the baths that I'm looking for. I don't recommend that you try to make complicated baths. Stick to one plant. Get to know 1 or 2 plants. I mean, a really good magician should have like 5 plants that they can lean on at any moment, that they know intimately. Having a roster of herbs is cool, but most people that have big rosters of herbs, they don't pick them themselves because I just know they don't. Most people that I've seen that talk about using this herb or that herb or this herb or these complicated spells involving, 9 or more plants, I can guarantee you they can't identify a single one of those out in nature. And this is the fun part. If you really take the time and observe how they grow, how they behave, You won't need a big roster of plants. I mean, one thing to know, if you're trying to do something sweet, like attract money, if it smells good, it is good. Good smelling stuff, sweet smelling stuff like cinnamon, allspice, like the Christmas herbs generally, the Christmas spices. Those are the best for bringing money, hands down. And they're also good for increasing your luck, helping in love. You know, you just got to use your imagination a little bit. You know, like, oh, okay, so if the Christmas herbs are good for money, I can mix them in a bag, in a mojo bag with other things about money. Maybe I'll throw a mercury dime in there, a dollar, or a $2 bill, magnet to draw it in, and then put those herbs in there and carry that little sachet in my pocket. Okay. If I'm doing some love work, I'm going to take those herbs and add them to a bunch of sweet, sticky stuff because I want people to be sweet and sticky and stick together. It's so common sense that it really doesn't require mystification. We don't need to say complex prayers. I mean, sometimes I do say prayers over the baths when I really feel like I need a little extra oomph to get the effect that I want. But generally, I'll say the prayers while I'm doing the bath. Almost omitted an important step in the process when you're done making your baths, okay? Some sea salt or just any granular salt. And you're gonna add that to your mortar that you just used. And then you're just gonna grind the salt. And what it's going to do is it's going to leach out the leftovers from the inside of your mortar, so you can be neutral and you don't have to worry about like cross-contaminating or your mortar getting funky or anything like that. You just grind some salt in there. I like to use the very coarse salt because I grind it until it gets fine, and then I know I've sufficiently cleaned my mortar. There's another note. If you're using a plant that has like long leafy branches, right? Maybe some, maybe elder or rain tree or China berry or something like that. Save it, it'd be good for doing something bad. So anyways, if you're using like a leafier plant that's got like longer limbs to it, like elder, you can break off some stems of elder that are about 18 inches, 2 feet long, and instead of going through the process of breaking up all the leaves, you just wash the leaves in some cool water. You blow some liquor on that leaves as an offering, or you can use some Florida water if you don't drink, and then put a little smoke to it, like a little bit of tobacco smoke to those leaves, and then you can just use the stems, these leaves, like a brush, like a broom, and sweep the unwanted energies off your body. It's a quick way, good in a pinch, works very well. Great if the only plants around you tend to be kind of rough and don't grind up very well, like camphor. For those that don't know, camphor cleans very, very well. Again, it smells medicinal when you break the leaves. You can break off a few short branches of it, leafy branches, wash them in water, hit them with a little bit of liquor, or like basically an offering to the spirit of the plant. Hit them with a little bit of liquor, a little bit of smoke, and then just not your head, okay? But the rest of your body, just brush yourself with those leaves, and you will be good and clean.